Alrighty, hi there. My name is Brendan Bobersky. I'm going to be presenting my Southwest Transit team member project. So, first up, wanted to introduce Natalie. Natalie's very positive and ambitious. One of the main reasons why we chose her to be a part of our four is just because people like Natalie. They like to hear her input. They like to hear what she has to bring to the table. She's very outgoing. Now, the only reason why it was a little difficult to choose her was just how she'll overall blend with the team. Being positive and ambitious is great, but when you're over competitive and you put your personal goals over what the team is looking for, it kind of can create some problems in terms of, hey, are you going to be able to come in here and be able to work together and blend well? However, we do think she should be able to overcome this. Elizabeth. Elizabeth enjoys the collaborative aspect of everything that Southwest has to bring and always also brings a positive attitude. She's perfectly comfortable in a team environment. That's why we chose her. But I mean, it was still tough. Her primary weakness is that she really likes to rush her work in developing new skills. So when you're coming into a team atmosphere, you know, making sure that not only is a deadline hit, but also that keeping the work up to the best possible quality is something that she seems to struggle with. However, with the other blend of these other two folks, we do believe she'll be a great fit. Michael. Michael is positive, looks for the best in people, always enjoys motivating others and kind of being a leader. Now, he was the most difficult because he likes to joke about this problem solving, kind of seen as passive aggressive, and especially being a leader. It's one thing for certain that when we come into these team environment, we need to make sure that everyone can work together as a whole. So that's going to be the one challenge for Michael. Susan. Susan was the easiest. Very positive, energetic. The only negative is that sometimes she lacks her focus, but don't we all? And she always needs the approval from others. So having the leader atmosphere in Michael and also our other two team members, easiest selection. Go getter, very creative, is going to be great for this project. Team overview. I mean, they each made the decision making process really easy. Doug and Caitlin were our other two members that we tried to select, but we believe that these four will be the best in blending well and outperforming everybody else. They're very positive, and their personalities blend. They kind of cancel out the negatives. You have the leader, but then you also have the go-getters. You have the people who, kind of joke around in Michael, but then you also have the people that can come together to solve those problems. I mean, their personalities are seen very high, but they can also be seen very low. When you have all the differences, they kind of come together. They can also come out together as well. So the management team is very positive with this team's potential. Now, some of the motivation strategies. Herzberg's two-factor theory. This practically just oversights that we need to understand the key elements that encourage our employees. And it allows for a very diverse way to kind of understand, how these teams are going to work differently while attaining some of these tasks. Um, it's something to keep them motivated. Say, hey, we can come together to really understand where everyone can come together and encourage one another to bring this great project for Southwest and the stakeholders. Now, team conflict is one of the main factors that we wanted to factor in. Keeping them motivated is one easy part, but keeping them out of conflict, something very difficult. Conflict transformation model. Practically need to understand where each of these team members are going to be able to come together and resolve their problems before they even start. Managing conflict allows team growth. If you have team conflict, that's wasting time from getting a project deadline. And just like one of our team members, she's not good with rush. She's not very good at getting stuff done in a very timely manner. She likes to rush. So they're right then and there, conflict that we can solve. Using Pollock's 2024, this perspective doesn't just aim to resolve the immediate problem, but to harness the energy of the conflict to rebuild relationships and systems more constructively. Practically, what this is saying is you're coming together to manage this team to understand the immediate problems that could come out from these personalities, understanding the source before it gets to the problem. Think of like a sunflower. It starts out as a seed, blossoms into the flower. We're going to solve the problem at the seed. And all team members, as we all do when working in a team, we all have our own negative traits, but we can easily solve that and be able to get that swept under the rug. Now, ensuring this team success and collaboration, open communication. When you have four very positive and ambitious young people who are still very new with Southwest, it's going to be a very interesting project when you're the ones that are marketing and bringing the success of the Boeing 747. Now, putting them to good use will ensure this team's success. Collaboration, you have the leader, you have the one that doesn't may not really like to joke around that much, when come conflict. You also have the one that also likes to rush. But everyone's going to be able to come together and be open to the collaboration and be able to be open to new ideas. Now, conscious capitalism. That conscious capitalism means you're working for everybody, not just for yourself. Every team member here, they like to be a leader. They have the positives, the negatives. They're all going to come together, collaborate, put aside their conflicts, and really bring stakeholders the best possible value for their marketing campaign, as well as when we be able to present the Boeing 747. Both quotes here from my sources. In short, the belief is that conscious capitalism could lead to a more sustainable and prosperous business that benefits society while also being profitable. These team members, they're all working to better us all with the products that Southwest comes together to build. It's going to be able to really make the launch super easy for us. And the stakeholder value. It's something very simple. This team will impact more than just the investors and stakeholders, and in not only the marketing as well as people who are investing in the Boeing. It's our consumers. When they see a very positive outreach that Natalie, Susan, Michael, and Elizabeth are all bringing to the table in this project, the consumers are going to be like, wow, I really wanted to be involved in this. I see where the company is coming from. I see where the company is coming out and saying, hey, here's what we're putting together. Here's what our competitors are coming out with. Here's what we can do better. Through the positive outlook, we all look for positivity in one another. And by bringing this positive approach, it's going to bring the biggest impact to the airline and transportation industry. When you promote a good product that's safe, reliable, and you have good people representing this, people are going to be attracted to that. People are always attracted to positivity. And by investing in their marketing approach, investors are also going to want to see this, seeing that consumers are excited, they're going to spend more money. So with that, investors think, I want to invest more of my time and my money into Southwest because these consumers are very happy to see where Southwest is going. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.